About 4 years ago, I received the worst news of my life. But my story starts 7 years ago when I had my daughter. I was 21 and scared and single and lonely. And I was looking for love in all the wrong places, drinking all the time. And by the time my daughter was 9 months old, I was pregnant again. I just remember thinking, no way was I gonna bring another baby into this world. I couldn't afford it. I didn't want the responsibility. I could hardly take care of the child that I had. And it was really pretty easy for me to justify my decision, and that was to have an abortion. I bottled up all the emotions from that and hid them. And I kept on with my life, drinking and just spending time in all the wrong places with all the wrong people. And that went on for a good 2 years, and then I became pregnant again. I was so ashamed that I had put myself in the same situation, and it was almost an easier decision this time than the first time. It was just a solution to a problem for me, and so I had another abortion. And again, I knew it was wrong, but I took any guilt that I felt, I took it, and I just hid it deep down, and it was really out of sight, out of mind. I thought if I ignored it long enough, it would just go away, like it had never happened. But 5 months after my second abortion, that's when I received the worst news of my life. My daughter was diagnosed with leukemia, and I thought that it was God's way of punishing me. All the guilt came back, and it was worse because I had guilt about the abortions. But on the other hand, I had guilt because I thought that it was my fault that my daughter was going to have to suffer through this, and that she might not even come out of this. And I just became this self-loathing, depressed, dysfunctional person. And I could not take care of my daughter the way I needed to. And so we ended up moving in with my parents. It was at that time that I decided to start going back to church, and I began to feel the beginning of God's healing in my life. I also met and married my husband, and within a year and a half, my life had completely turned around. I was married, we had a baby. He adopted my daughter. She finished her chemotherapy. We joined a church, bought a house. Everything was great, and I thought that I had finally, made it to where I was supposed to be. And that wasn't quite true. I was watching an online sermon one day, and the pastor started talking about abortion, and for the first time, I saw what I had done through God's eyes, and that I had taken lives and thrown them away like trash for my convenience. And again, the guilt and the shame they surfaced, and this time I just let it all out. And the reality of it was unbearable, the reality of what I had done. And I knew that I could never escape my past, so I figured I needed to give it to God. And I got down on my face and I asked for His forgiveness. I always think of this verse when I think about the grace that I've been given by God. It's Psalm 103, 8 through 12. The Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. He will not always accuse, nor will He harbor His anger forever. He does not treat us as our sins deserve, or repay us according to our iniquities. For as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is His love for those who fear Him. As far as the east is from the west, so far has He removed our transgressions from us. And that's just the most beautiful picture of forgiveness. And I know now that I don't have to carry the guilt and the shame with me anymore. Jesus carries our burdens for us, and it's just His grace. We don't deserve it. If you think you can relate to my story and you want to contact me, you can do that at www.hope360.org. I'm Tori, and I'm a Hope 360 storyteller.